everybody. It's John Hughes Morning Focus, Fantastic Friday, and also Fit Friday. But before we get into that, a quick introduction. This is Peaches, my cat, who does not like to be held, but people like cats. So here's my cat video contribution. All right, good stuff. So, thank you very much. Health is really made largely by what we eat. Garbage in, garbage out. We are what we eat. Every little bit of food is made up of molecules that are going to influence what happens in our body. So today I wanted to share with you a little bit of what I eat, but more the vitamins and supplements that I take. So let's jump right in, shall we? Now, you've all heard that fish is really good for your brain. I don't eat a lot of fish, so I take, let's see, put it up close. I take fish oil. I just take one of these every day. By the way, I'm not a doctor, so check all this stuff out on Google, talk to your doctor. If you've got any contraindications, get that checked out. But the reason that I take that is because most of our food has a lot of omega-6s, which are highly inflammatory. So if you have issues with a lot of pain, aches, anything with itis on the end of it is inflammation, and that is largely influenced by the food that we eat. So if we're eating a lot of processed food, it's going to have a lot of omega-6s. Fish is the best source of omega-3s, especially things like fatty fish, which could be salmon, and it could be sardines, things like that. But I just plain don't eat a lot of fish. I avoid tuna because it's very high in mercury, and as much as I really love tuna, it's easy to carry. It's just, very infrequent. So by taking one of those omega-3s a day, sometimes two, one with each meal I eat twice a day, and that's how I get my fish supplement. Okay, supplements are all to make up for what you're not getting enough of, right? Through our natural foods. Ideally, everything that we get would come from our food. So let's jump right into that. One of the most important things, and I don't take a supplement for this, is potassium. There are a couple different salts, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sodium that we all need, which kind of make a battery, get the heart pumping, and we need to have them in right proportions. And potassium is probably the one that most of us are very deficient in. So how do I get my potassium? I eat avocados, which are very high in potassium. And interestingly, I was looking at some other things that are very high in potassium that I didn't know, and I eat them for other reasons. But I'm a big fan of dark chocolate, just one of these a day. And also, and you saw it earlier, if you saw my shorts, spinach, very high in potassium. So that's really where I get my potassium. And bananas do not have as much potassium as they've always been touted. They do have a lot of sugar, which too much of that will make you fat, but that's for a whole different video. So leafy greens, real high in potassium. Avocados, awesome on the fiber level, on the taste level. They're creamy. They're natural, and I really believe as close to the source, the way God put it on the planet, is going to be the best way to get anything, and the least processing is always going to be the best. So that is my thing for potassium. Next, vitamin D, not actually a vitamin, but a precursor to hormones, and it's involved in all different sorts of things, from our sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all those things. And we get the majority of it from sun and from a lot of things that grow in the sun. A lot of us live up north. I happen to live in Florida, so I get lots of sun. I go walking regularly. I'll take my shirt off if the weather permits, so I get a lot of vitamin D. But there are rainy days, or there are days that I just can't get out. So I take a simple vitamin D, and I take it with vitamin K because I have learned that it is best balanced. It needs to have some other things with it for the best uptake in the body. So vitamin D, hugely important, and if we're missing it, a lot of the different processes in our body don't work. All right, moving right along. One of the ones that we are most deficient in is magnesium. So I will take one of these a day. I found magnesium glycinate the most smooth, but there are a variety of different ones. And wonderfully, you can also get a lot of magnesium from that dark chocolate again. There's a vote for that, which really takes care of my sweet tooth. And also, nuts have a lot of magnesium in them, and we need to have that also. All right, moving right along. The next one is zinc. Also, hugely important with several thousand different processes in the body. Most people, in addition to being deficient in magnesium and really all of these things, because our food is so heavily processed, our growing regions are so depleted. So zinc, there's that joke, it's good for men, eat oysters. Well, that's so true. Shellfish is wonderful for zinc, but I don't eat very much. Every now and again, I'll have some oysters or some clams or some mussels, but not often enough. So I take 1 zinc per day, and that does the trick. It's also huge for your immune system, and there's stuff going around that we've all been trying to stay away from, and so definitely get your zinc there. And another couple ones that I take, let's see, these are not vitamins but rather supplements, and here's what they are and why I take them. Okay, ashwagandha is known as an adaptogen. I can't explain exactly what that is, but hey, there's Google for what's an adaptogen. But what I have learned is that it has a calming effect. It comes from Ayurvedic medicine in India, and it helps with a bunch of different processes in the body, and I like it for the calming effect. Next, I'm doing an experiment on my own. I do a lot of N=1 type of experiments, and for varicose veins or spider veins, I saw a study, and it said that grapeseed extract in an amount of somewhere between 300 and 700 milligrams per day for a period of 3 to 6 months would reduce those. So I am in the process right now of taking about 4 of these every day for a period to see, is that in fact true? I will report back to you later. Another one, as I get older and creakier, and I've been lifting weights for, my goodness, nearly 40 years. Wow. Hopefully it shows. Okay. My joints are definitely kind of beat up. So what I do, it was recommended to me recently to take shark cartilage, which can funnel through and eventually reach back to those beat up cartilage that's in between the bones, right? That kind of allow it to move nicely. And so that's kind of an experiment, N=1, that I'm going through now. The next thing is that blood sugar is hugely important. The way that our body works is that when we take in food, the body distributes it to where it has to go. And if it has carbohydrates, which are sugars and starches and things like that that give us energy, the body puts it into the muscles and the liver and where it needs it. But if there's excess, then that floats around, creating higher blood sugar. It can cause all kinds of problems in excess if a person's taking a lot of it in. And eventually the body stores it as fat to be used later. When you don't have enough sugar, it'll break back down and give you energy. But if you maintain a blood sugar level really over 5 and above, you begin to get into the danger zone of pre-diabetes, diabetes, and that can cause all sorts of troubles. Apart from just being obese, it can also create heart trouble and high blood pressure and just all sorts of bad things. So when I went for my last checkup, I had a 5.7, and that bothered me because that's higher than, I think, 5.1 and below is where you really want to be. So what I learned is there is a supplement called berberine, and you can check this one out on Google, and it lowers the blood sugar because you want to be below 100 regularly. But if you're taking insulin or metformin or any of those stuff, don't mess with your blood sugar without talking to your doctor. Find out what's going on there. Okay, a couple things that are missing here, all right? I do not take iron, all right? Men actually often have too much iron, which can cause other types of trouble. And what I do regularly is about every 8 weeks, I go give blood. And that keeps my iron in a lower fashion. You get plenty of it if you eat beef, if you eat leafy green vegetables, you're going to get plenty of iron. Now, women, on the other hand, during their reproductive years, will often have anemia or lower iron, and so they should talk to their doctor and find out how can they best supplement it other than eating foods that are high in iron, and the body will take in what it needs. But I don't take iron. In fact, I try to reduce it. And after menopause, same thing happens to women. They stop losing blood regularly, and they also can begin to have too much iron. So that's something that you want to keep up on because it can oxidize, just like rusty nails or stuff. It's not good for the body. I do not take vitamin C, okay? It is important to get it, however, so that's one that I eat regularly. I eat sauerkraut. Yes, this stuff is awesome. It's an easy vegetable. It's also a probiotic. Anything fermented like kimchi, kefir, yogurts, sauerkraut are good for the bugs in the stomach that help to digest. So that's really high in vitamin C, and I eat that regularly. I don't take any vitamin Bs, okay? But I eat a lot of beef. I eat a lot of pork. I eat regularly every day. I'll eat 8 eggs. I try to get the highest quality that I can with organic, very high in vitamin B. And so that gives me the full spectrum of what I need there. And that is my report for what I'm personally taking. Again, don't use this as any kind of medicinal or doctor advice, because I am not one, although I slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night. No, just kidding. But rather, check out with your doctor, do regular blood tests. Better to know what's going on with you, find out what are you missing, and then look up what are ideally, the best natural sources of where to get that supplement, that vitamin, that whatever you're missing, and eat that more regularly. And in the absence of being able to get it easily, carry it with you or eat it regularly, then find the right vitamin. Great sources, Shaklee, top quality, best producer of vitamins out there. I get lots of mine from the vitamin shop simply because it's convenient, it's close, I trust the quality, and that works for me. So I would ask you to please share this video, subscribe, hit that notification button so you get all of my reports regularly, and keep working on getting in better health. If every day we are doing something that can make us better in some capacity than the day before, then we can contribute more, we can be better, and we can become really our best selves and have and give all that we are meant to be. So have a great weekend, a fantastic Friday, and thanks for joining me this morning.